Good morning, everyone. Well, at least it's morning where I am. Today, what we're going to do is the next step in our color wheel. And in this case, we are going to be doing orange, which is between yellow and red-orange. And you can see the completed sections right here where I have it labeled orange and red-orange. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, what I want to do with orange is a combination of red and yellow. And so I want to lay down a layer, and if you remember from the tutorials we had, layering is a technique using colored pencil. And so I'm going to layer in the yellow first. I want to put a real light layer in, and I'm not putting a lot of pressure at this point. I will add some more pressure a little bit later on, but I'm just using kind of light pressure here through all three sections. Now, if you remember how our sections are set up, on the outside circle is going to be heavy pressure, the middle circle is light pressure, and then in the very center we do a blending where we actually add the complement. And while I'm working on this, can you guys tell me what is the complement of orange? If you said blue, you're right. Okay, now I want to layer, I'm going to put a light layer of red on top of this yellow. And if we do this in a layering process, a building process, what will happen is this will begin to become orange. Now, if we were working with paint, with our temper paint, we would mix yellow and red together and it would magically make orange. With this, it's a process that takes just a little bit longer, but it's kind of relaxing, just kind of layering this color right on top of our yellow. And again, it's a light layer. Now I'm working in hatching and cross hatching here, and one of the reasons why I did that is with yellow, I don't have to do the scumbling as much because you don't see the pencil lines as much. Okay, now after I've done that for a while, I'm going to come back in and I'm going to layer on top of the first two that I did, the yellow and the red, and now I'm going to come in with a little bit more heavy pressure and begin to apply some yellow. And you can see right here I started scumbling a little bit. I'm going to speed it up a little bit, but that's basically what I did. Is I just alternated my layers back and forth between yellow and red, and my very final layer was a pretty heavy layer of red. And now what I want to do is I'm going to add the complement to the center section to change the intensity of the color, and the complement of orange is blue. So I'm just going to put a light layer of blue on top of my orange. Then I'm going to come back in and I'm going to add a little bit of red on top of that blue, and what that's doing is it's just kind of blending these two colors together. Now I'll actually come in here in just a couple of seconds with some yellow, and I'll layer the yellow right on top of that after I layer some blue on top. And basically what you're doing here, guys, is you're going to keep alternating. You're going to have to take a look at it, and what you want to have is kind of a dull orange. That's what happens when you add a complement to the color. It kind of changes its intensity. It makes it a little duller. And if it looks too blue, then add a little bit more orange, and that would be the process of doing the yellow and the red together. Okay, getting pretty close to just the way I like it. So what I want to do now is I want to do my red orange, which is in between the red and the orange. Now my original red, that was a colored pencil I really didn't like, and it actually came out too orange. So I'm going to have to actually go over that later on in this video and make it a little bit more red. But anyway, we're going to do the red orange. So as opposed to using the yellow like I did last time, I'm going to put down a base layer of red because I am doing a red orange. So base layer of red. And it's kind of a light layer too. I'm using hatch shading. I got near the top, and I'm going to change the direction a little bit so I get a nice clean edge around the outside perimeter. of my color wheel. Nice thing about this too is that you can get outside the lines just a little bit. If you're not using a lot of pressure, if you're using light pressure and you get outside the lines, it's only going into either red or orange, so it really doesn't affect it that much as long as you're using light pressure. When you start to begin to use a heavy pressure, then you got to watch. You got to stay in the lines a little bit more when you're using heavy pressure. Now notice I'm putting a pretty thick layer of the red on before I put my yellow on. Now I'm coming in with the yellow, and it's the same thing. I don't want to put it on too heavy or too thick. I'm not using a lot of pressure, but I'm just adding enough pressure to start to blend these colors a little bit. I don't know if you guys can see that little hole right there, right where my pencil was, but that's actually a piece of the table that's out, and when you, it's basically like doing a texture rubbing. I have that piece right there that I wish I would have kind of put something in under my paper so I wouldn't have got that rubbing there. But anyway, some more layering of the yellow. I'm going to pick up the pace here a little bit, and basically what it's going to be is just layering of red and yellow, a lot more red than yellow. And what should happen is it should be in between your orange and your red. It's red-orange, so it should be a spectrum to where you see that change. It's red-orange, okay, so it's more red than it is orange. Now I want to come in the opposite of my red-orange is the color I want to be applying on here now, and the opposite of my red-orange is a blue-green. So I put a layer of blue down, and then I'm going to put a little bit of yellow on top of that. And I'm going to come back in and layer it a little bit more. You want to have your color wheel labeled. That way when you want to find out what the complement is, which is a color that's opposite a given color, you can find it pretty easily. And what I'm doing here is just a little burnishing to try to get these colors to blend together a little bit. And so I use my blue and my yellow to do that. And that's it. I've completed orange and red-orange for this section of the lesson. So once you have that done, take a break, get to your next class. And tomorrow we will be working on, I think probably we'll work on green and yellow green tomorrow. So you guys have a good day, and I'll see you then.